Hi, I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I am the author of the book Parenting A House United. Many people called this book A House United, but it actually does have the word parenting a house united in it. So we're going to be talking today about what's in this book and a whole lot more. Everyone has an idea of what they want their family to become, but what do we do about that idea? Chapter 3. So, what is in this book, and how did this book even come about in the first place? I want to tell you something. I never planned on being an author. In fact, if you get one of the over 50,000 copies of the first edition, you will know that I never planned on becoming an author. The second edition is much better. So if you're choosing between an old first edition and a second edition, please get the second edition. I never planned on becoming a writer, and yet I was one anyway. I felt compelled to write this book. I'm the mother of 4, and years ago I did foster parenting for youth ages 12 to 18 for many years. They came into my home, and they came from all different walks of life with a lot of different problems, big problems. It was level 3 treatment care. And when they would leave my home, they were often in a much better place. In fact, they learned something really important: self-government, because that was my aim. I wanted to teach them to be able to control or govern themselves. Well, people started asking me really quickly after starting to do foster care if I would come and talk at their schools and their churches and their parent support group nights and things like that. And I thought, okay, sure, that'll be short-lived. Well, little did I know that the years would go by and conferences would call and I would have to go there. Then in 2009, the BBC made a documentary of my family called The World's Strictest Parents. And if you haven't seen any of the reaction videos to that episode of The World's Strictest Parents, you'll want to go check those out because they're a lot of fun. But after that episode of that program aired, it became the most watched episode ever on the BBC with that really high-profile program. People wanted to know, how did that lady stay so calm? How was that family so calm? How did the hearts of those rough British teens change by the end of that program, which is what you definitely see. But after that program aired, people were literally begging me for a book. So at that point, I set a date, and I got that book done just a couple of months after the program happened. It was amazing. So what is in this book? Why would you even want it? Well, a lot of people call this the Bible of parenting. I hope that doesn't sound sacrilegious in any way, but that's not my term. This is what people often say to me. In fact, people who have been trained in multiple different methods of parenting will say to me, Nicholeen, where have you been? I have been teaching people strategies that actually are manipulative. Now I see. I thought they were logical, but they're manipulative. But now what I know, I can't ever go back to teaching that stuff again. Can I please teach your stuff? And just so you know, the answer is yes. I do train other people to teach what I teach. I have teaching self-government mentors who do training all over the world. So what are they training people? Let's take a little look. Now, I do want to tell you I have a course and other resources besides just this book. But this book is a key piece to my program. And a lot of people want to know, is it even worth my read? I am really hoping that I can show you in this video that it definitely is. Let's just take a look at some of the content that's in this book. So this book is divided into 3 different sections. The first section is the roots section. The roots section is all about the heart, the relationship, where the family's headed, creating a deliberate family vision of who you're becoming as a family. Do you realize that you can't learn self-government if you don't deliberately plan to learn it? Because it's a choice to learn to govern yourself. And your family won't reach a desired destination if you never determine where that destination is. So that's the family vision making process. This is huge. I talk about mission statements and on how we use mission statements to help our children and our family really buy into what we're doing in the self-government journey for our family. But one key thing is a deep understanding of self-government. If everybody understands that self-government is the goal for the family and what it is exactly and what it requires of them, then they can learn the skills that everybody talks about with the program that much easier. Also in the roots section, two of my favorite parts of the book, which are improving the family relationships, which is key because you can't teach your children anything. You can't teach them skills. You can't help them solve their problems if your relationship is in a bad place. So improving those family relationships, that's a huge part. I give strategies for how to do that. And then also improving the tone in your home. So that chapter is vital. What tone elements are required for a family and a person to learn self-government and to really come together in unity? Because that's what this whole book is about. It's not about the individual, it's about the family. And it's about unity and what the individual does to turn their heart toward the family instead of only thinking about themselves. The next section of the book is the trunk section. And in the trunk section, I talk about the meetings. Now, many people that tell their friends about the Teaching Self-Government parenting course and program talk about how great the meetings are. We have 3 different meetings that we do as a family, and these involve the couple relationship and individual one-on-one relationships with the children, as well as having full family meetings that are really functional, working, and keeping the family united together. We also talk about other documents that the family needs in order to really be successful, especially in these times when society is starting to present standards to our children's minds that don't necessarily match our family standards. So that's what I talk about creating is a family standard. How do you create a standard that your children will hold on to, that they will remember not to take the drugs, listen to the bad stuff, or watch the bad stuff? That needs to be decided ahead of time. And it actually eliminates all the fights and possible whining and complaining that might happen from your children because they just know, well, this is our family standard. It's a code that we follow, kind of like a constitution that the family has. I also talk about the family economy. That does not mean money or allowance or anything like that. It actually means how the family governs itself. The family economy allows the family to take ownership of their own behaviors as opposed to just reacting to somebody else's bad behavior, whether it be the parent's bad behavior or the child's bad behavior, which a lot of people do for their family economies, and it's just really not effective at teaching self-government. The rest of the book is the branches section and the support section. So in the branches section of the book, it talks about all the skills. I'm most known for the 4 basic skills, the 5 teaching styles, calm corrections, the rule of 3, when a child goes completely out of control, how to get at the heart of an issue and have a good heart-to-heart so that a child takes ownership over conquering a big problem, maybe even an addiction. These are the things that people come to me for, but I keep them until the end of the book. Now, if you get this book, you can jump to the end and you can find those things. But all of the foundational work, the heart work that happens before those skills are taught are vital to the tone and to the success of those skills in the future. So that's why I save them until the end. Now, if you get this book, you own it. It doesn't own you, so jump around as needed. There's a chapter in the support section at the back that talks all about parenting in a tech-sexual world and what struggles we're facing with technology and the sexual issues that are facing our children and the upcoming generations. Maybe that's a big issue for you at first. Jump and go read that chapter, but go back. Get the vision for the family. Get everybody on the same page so that they'll care why you're going to learn self-government. Learn those skills and learn those meetings. Put them into practice. Develop strong relationships and have that tone in your home that will lead to increased unity. This book is called Parenting a House United. It's all about unity. It's about bringing your family together, bringing the hearts together. We literally live in a time where people are feeling more isolated than ever before, yet they still have families. People are not communicating with each other like they should. They're not getting the support and the help that they need. They're even abandoned in their own homes because of the issues that we're facing and our inability to solve problems. My whole purpose in this book and the courses and all the things I do is just to help people become free. Free from all of that bondage that our society keeps putting upon us. Free from the emotional things and the selfish thoughts that get in the way and that make us think we don't have time to have those good united bonds with our family. And also just being free from the things you don't know, because you don't know what you don't know. So know more. This book is a great start. The course gives even more. The parent mastery trainings give even more. You can have mentor calls if you need them. We offer every way possible to help your family go from a family who might be experiencing some disconnection and discomfort because of your problem-solving inabilities to a family who's united in heart and mind and who can communicate and solve any problem and find joy in the process. Believe me when I say that's possible. I've seen it now happen for well over 20 years as I've been talking to people around the world. And every family that even implements the smallest part of this program finds a change of heart within themselves and their families. But if you do the whole program, I can promise you, you'll never be the same. If you feel like this book would be exciting for you, I'm pretty sure you're going to love step number 1, which is the free Calm Parenting Toolkit. Down below this video, there is a link to the Calm Parenting Toolkit. If you want to get started real fast on your self-government journey while you're waiting for this to come in the mail, by the way, order it from teachingselfgovernment.com and you'll get a cheaper price. Just saying, if you care about that. Get the book, get started, but go to that free Calm Parenting Toolkit and start working on your own calmness and getting ready to put these principles into practice when you finally read this book.